If it wasn't for Netero being a sore loser, Meruem could have been the savior of the Hunter world. Meruem was the pinnacle of his species, literally bred to be the king of all and the paragon of all living creatures. With a mindset like that from birth and the strength to back it up, it's very surprising to me that he had such a dramatic shift in personality and outlook in life in such a short period of time. To go from eliminating lesser beings simply because you can,
handkerchief with me,
to seeing the potential in all living things.
You see, I have learned what true power is meant to be used for. To protect the weak, who deserve to live. That is its purpose.
This is such a massive shift in mindset that most people would not be willing to or even able to make if they were given several lifetimes. And he accomplished this in just a few weeks, all due to his brief interactions with Komugi. And we see that it isn't just talk, because when Netero and Killua's grandpa attack his castle and hurt Komugi, in a moment where he would be 100% justified in lashing out at them and killing them, he calmly takes the fight away from her so that she can be healed. And even afterwards, he isn't even angry with Netero, nor does he try to harm him for what he's done.
Why do you and I have to fight? Power shouldn't be used to torment the defeated. I will not fight with you now.
This is concrete proof that he was on his way to being the perfect king for both ants and humans. A leader is one that has to take into consideration the well-being of those that follow him and how his actions and everyone else affect the whole and make decisions for the betterment of the whole. And Meruem already had that system set up perfectly with the ants. With each ant playing their role in order to benefit his colony, imagine if he could implement this system of structure and fellowship within mankind. We already say in our world, if humans work together the way ants do, we would be able to accomplish things far greater than what we do now. And he had the power to make that a reality within their world. Directly after the Chimera Ants arc, the story moves to exploring the Dark Continent, the origin home of the ants. Wouldn't it be so much easier if you had someone like Meruem and his royal guard leading the charge to the continent? I'm sure if he survived, he would have been interested in going there, as he would have been presented with a challenge to overcome to enable him to evolve and grow. He also would have been given insight into his origins and his purpose in the world, something that we see him contemplating.
Who am I really? I wonder. For what reason was I born?
On top of that, the manpower of his ants completely dwarfs whatever the humans could have come up with, as just the few hundred of them that there were was a threat that could have led to the extinction of humanity. That type of strength is surely to be necessary in surviving on the Dark Continent. Now, it's time to address the elephant in the room. The ants needing to eat people in order to survive, and Meruem being okay with the ants eating certain humans. Firstly, it's never stated anywhere the ants need to eat humans in order to survive. They just like the way they taste. Technically, they can survive off of fish and livestock, as we saw with the ant queen. Plus, they've never had food cooked and prepared for them, just raw meat and nutrients. I'm sure if you gave them some McDonald's, the ants would have forgotten all about human meat. As for Meruem being okay with humans being livestock, that was a flawed outlook that I'm sure he would have changed his mind on. He had just been born mere weeks ago, and only hours before that statement had doubts within himself about violence and power being the only things that matter in the world.
Violence is my power. And violence is the ultimate force in the entire world. You've got it wrong. I was born for one reason, and that is to rule this world. But I've changed my mind. You see, I have learned what true power is meant to be used for. Power shouldn't be used to torment the defeated, to protect the weak, who deserve to live. That is its purpose.
Well, he's beginning to waver, wavering between ant and human.
Given time, I'm sure he would have come to retract his statements and introduce the ants to a lifestyle that wouldn't have clashed with the humans. But that's the thing, he wasn't given time. He was a bright light that had a promising future that could have changed the entire world, but he was snuffed out too quickly by a decrepit old man that didn't want to accept the fact that he was old and had been completely surpassed by the next generation.